A very warm welcome to semi-final number one, live from the Fatorda Stadium in Goa. 29 degrees greets us here for this game between FC Goa and Club Deportivo Defensa y Justicia. The first semi-final of the day, of course, 7 o'clock. We will have the big one between Odisha and Brisbane Roar also happening here live on Sportscast India. A very pleasant afternoon to all of you, live from the Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy here at the Fatorda Stadium. September the 3rd, FC Goa against Club Deportivo Defensa y Justicia. We will be seeing the players and the coaching staff talking and discussing the game before we kick off. But it is a pleasure being here with you all once again, live from the Fatorda Stadium for this crackerjack, a humdinger of a semi-final between two very interesting sides. As you see the FC Goa team entering the stadium, entering the ground, and it is going to be a very, very good game of football. We will have. Well, that's not Manolo Marquez,
Okay,
clearly.
hello, good evening. I think they have been playing well. We should not be like too easy, casual. Like we have to stick to our plan, and yeah, we are going with very in a very carefully manner. We will not take them easy because we have seen them like they fight a lot. Yeah, I must say it's some kind of like the both the Goan team they know our style, we know them very well. So yeah, it's again I must say like the ground condition it's one of the difficult part. Yeah, it's a precision tournament for us, and yeah, we are going well. We are just progressing step by step. So hopefully by the end of this tournament, like we'll be fully prepared for the coming ISL. Thank you. Uh, let's see now. There is a couple of here and there, so let's hope for the best. Thank you so much.
Of course, Goa without their Indian international players, and of course Manolo Marquez, they are playing against Mauritius today at 7:30. So it's a very different FC Goa side. Let's talk to the Defensa Justicia head coach.
Tienes muy largo viaje, ahora es el semifinal. ¿Qué es tu predisposición por la partida?
Estamos muy contentos por por el viaje. Estamos muy entusiasmados con esta semifinal.
They are very content with the travel and they are very excited to play in the semifinal. ¿Qué es tu pensar? Muy importante ganar versus Chennai.
Sí, fue un rival muy duro, con gente importante, con un técnico muy importante. A nosotros nos sirvió mucho y estamos muy contentos de poder clasificar a lo que es esta semifinal.
It was a very tough team opponent. It was a very tough opponent with an experienced coach. So they were very happy that they could progress into the semi-final by showing their grit in the game. ¿Qué es la positivos y negativos con el torneo para vos?
El torneo negativo no encuentro nada, encuentro todo súper positivo. Enfrentar a técnicos que han dirigido España, Inglaterra, un técnico hoy no está, pero es un técnico que dirige la selección nacional. Para mí que trabajo con chicos formativos hace 15 años, esto es una experiencia única, es lo más positivo que hay.
He says there are no negatives, there are only positives and super positives. They've played against experienced teams, they've played against teams with very experienced coaches, including a coach from England, Scotland, coach from Spain, a coach who is with the national team. So for the young players, it's a very good experience which will help them a lot in their career. algunos cambios por la partido en la equipo.
Sí, sí, hay varios cambios. La realidad que tenemos 18 jugadores. De los 18 jugadores tenemos 4 que 2 suspendidos por expulsión y 2 suspendidos por doble amarilla, así que tuvimos que meter variantes, pero la idea, el sistema y las ganas de los chicos es la misma que desde el primer partido.
Yes, there are a lot of changes because they are traveling with 18 players and 4 players are suspended, 2 with red cards and 2 with double yellows. So of course they have very few players available and there are a lot of changes, but they are approaching the game in the same way they approached the first game because it's a tough game for them in the situation.
Déjame mandarle saludo a mi hija, a mi señora y a toda la familia defensista que hoy no estará viendo.
There's a salute from his daughter, his wife, and the entire family of Defensa for the organization and for everyone over here.
Thank you.
Well, that's not exactly what he said, but we will forgive the translator for that. He was actually sending a greetings to his wife and daughter, not from his wife and daughter. And you know, well, the lineups: Makiu, Drazic, Sadiku, Odey, Boris, Roland Borges, Katimani in goal, Borja Herrera, Akash Sangwan, Nim Tamang, and Bryson Fernandez, Tomba, Bob, Nemil, Balkaran, Laltangliana, Alan Saji, Tavora, Ayush, Wellington, and Hamad on the bench. Team manager Diane Adrian Pinto is the coach for today because Manolo Marquez, of course, is on international duty with India. They play against Mauritius today at 7:30. And for Defensa y Justicia, they did mention they have 4 players that are suspended. I mean, only an Argentinian side would play a friendly tournament and have 4 players suspended by the time they play the third game. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, but still, nonetheless. Máximo González, Brian Acosta, Mirko Boiler, Román González, Pedro Bormida, Tomás Villagra, Vergara Cruz, Franco Valdea, Alessandro Sosa, Joel Benítez Oberman, Agustín Quiroga, starting 11, and Fabián Parroni, Nicolás Vázquez, and Anthony Cruz are the only 3 subs that they have left from an 18-man contingent, the head coach, Ricardo Candia. So I am welcomed or joined here at the commentary box with my co-commentator for the day, JJ. So JJ, welcome to this tournament. Welcome to the Combox once again. How are you feeling coming up to this game?
Hello, Joel. I'm feeling wonderful, especially because it's a semi-final match and we know the stakes are high. And looking at how both these teams have come in, FC Goa, of course, they are undefeated. They won 3 out of 3. And that's why they want to look to make it 4 out of 4, especially now they have a few more challenges without their Indian players and without their head coach. As for Defensa, Justicia, we can see how they came back after that opening game loss, and they are also on a very good run. Of course, they're going to be missing those 4 players who were suspended, but given the circumstances, it's going to be a good game nevertheless.
Well, JJ, I'm just going to have to correct you one thing. Defensa y Justicia. Defensa y Justicia. So whenever you do we do that, I'm going to give you some Spanish lessons, if you don't mind. And we are going to actually make it correct because, of course, you do have an audience from Argentina watching. So it is Club Deportivo Defensa y Justicia. So I do the same with Junaid. Don't worry, JJ. It's nothing against you, mate. Junaid eventually got it after the first game. So I hope during the game you also... if you do need any help with the names of the players, I'm more than happy to help. Obviously, speak Spanish and English fluently, so I'm more than happy to assist with that also. So it's a pleasure, JJ, to be here with you once again as we are live from the Fatorda Stadium in Goa for semi-final number 1 between FC Goa and the Club Deportivo Defensa Justicia. As you rightly said, JJ, Manolo Marquez is not here. Neither are the Indian international players. How is that going to affect FC Goa?
I think we saw how in the previous games, how teams all of a sudden that face the depletion of their senior players, they do struggle. And given the fact that their opposition is coming off a very good run, they are also depleted. But I see FC Goa playing a lot more aggressive though. They won't let that affect them because we've seen a lot of these players from the FC Goa side still play football at a very high level. So they still do have experienced players who are either playing for the FC Goa side in the Goa Pro League, or even they've played. There are a lot of familiar names who've played in the Indian Super League as well in the past. So I still see them coming out with a very good performance.
Well, we shall have to wait and see. Of course, Defensa Justicia also are missing 4 players, JJ. Suspension. Like I said previously, you have to. It had to be an Argentinian side, right? That would be missing 4 or 5 players due to red cards and suspensions in a 3-match tournament. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
I know. And I think that's the trend of football, right? Football lives up to its expectations in all forms. And here we have the team from Argentina that's playing the level of football that we would expect from a team from Argentina. And they've thoroughly given us that form of entertainment on all forms, from the quality of football up until the very true and basic nature of Argentinian players.
Well, that is true, my friend. Of course, I'm just watching something here. They just sent me a revamped lineup. So we do have Katimani in goal. We do have Nim Dorji in defense. We do have Akash Sangwan and Odey. There is no Carl McHugh in the lineup that we've just received now. I'm just checking absolutely everything just to make sure.
The match, semi-finals. The teams, Bandodkar Goa, India versus Club Social Deportivo, Defensa y Justicia. Here are the two lineups.
So Mohamed Nemil is actually playing in the lineups. JJ, there's been a late change. Carl McHugh is not present, and Nemil is. So just to make sure that is the miss of Carl McHugh going to be a big one? He's a very decent defensive midfielder. What do you think of that, JJ?
Yeah, when you're going up against a side that is so engaging on the attack, a defensive midfielder proves to be important. But I think I'm going to rest back on how there are still players on the Goan side I see stepping up. They know the circumstance. And even Nemil, the lad from Kerala, has gotten very good experience, and he's going to get to start here. So it's going to be interesting, along with the likes of Akash Sangwan, even Katimani, who's going to be with the gloves. So they're all constant players playing in the league over the last few years. So I think the side will give them a challenge, but they're going to be good.
Well, it is going to be a challenge that perhaps Goa will, or FC Goa will be facing Defensa Justicia. It's a different challenge, isn't it, JJ, when you're facing against a team from Argentina and they fight the way that they fought against Chennai and Orisha and Churchill Brothers. They bring something completely different to the table, don't they, JJ?
Oh, definitely. And I think that's where they're going to hope that the international players who are going to be there on the pitch for FC Goa step up and lead the battle for all the players and give them that confidence in order to go up against this Argentina side, and not just go up, but also give their best performance at the same level.
And of course, Defensa Justicia had 2 players sent off last game against Chennai, and another 2 have been suspended due to double yellow cards throughout the tournament. So they kick us off in grey jerseys. FC Goa in, well, what I can call a wine kind of color. So, stadium. Cross coming in for Defensa y Justicia. So for Goa, let's recap the lineups, JJ. Katimani in goal, Nim Dorji, Sangwan, Odey, Mohamed Nemil, Drazic, Boris, Borges, Borja, and Bryson, and Sadiku up front. Carl McHugh has picked up a knock in the pre-match warm-up, and he's not playing. Of course, they also have no Manolo Marquez, who's away on international duty with India as they face Mauritius today at 7:30. And for Defensa Justicia, we have Máximo González in goal, Acosta, Bohiler, González, Bormida, the captain, Villagra, Valdés, Sosa, Oberman, Benítez, Quiroga, and Vergara up front. On the bench, Parroni, Vasquez, and Cruz. So, interesting to see this match, how it unfolds, JJ. We do have to, of course, talk about our customary pre-match predictions, JJ. What are you going for, my friend?
I'm going for 1-1 extra time and Defensa Justicia to win it at extra time.
Wow, drama. JJ's going for the drama. I am going to go for an FC Goa win today. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I believe that they will have just enough. And in the last 30 minutes, with Defensa Justicia not able to make too many changes, they're going to struggle. They're going to suffer. So they only have 3 men on the bench. 3 young boys on the bench. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with this game, as that shot there by Defensa Justicia, saved by Katimani in the Goa goal today. How much of a miss are those Indian international players going to be for Goa? I know you've already mentioned that they have plenty of depth, but how much of a miss is it going to be?
I think given the fact that they've played the most minutes and they do have that experience, it is important.
Chance here for FC Goa, cleared away by Defensa Justicia. That goes away for a corner kick. Ball now for the men in wine color jerseys today. It will be number 26 Borja to take this corner kick. Of course, a set piece maestro Borja will be an outswinger as usual from that side of the pitch. Borja to take it. Decent looking ball in, and that's cleared away though. Number 16, that is Oberman Benitez, who shares a same name than us, JJ. Your middle name is Joel. My first name is Joel. His first name is also Joel, so Joel Oberman Benitez. Perhaps that is the reason why you're going for Defensa Justicia. Another Joel, isn't it?
Yeah, and let's not forget the last time we were in the commentary box, there was a Joel in the Brisbane side as well, and they went on to win the game. So the circumstances are ideal.
You are a superstitious man, JJ. Ball now for FC Goa. Number 47, that is number 27 actually, that was Sangwon. Ball now for Defensa Justicia. This is Quiroga. Quiroga loses possession though. That is Akash Sangwon, number 27, my bad from before. For all of you guys asking where the where Manolo Marquez is, not the Manolo Marquez, where Manolo Marquez is, he's on away on international duty with India, of course. Why did I doubt for a second there? He is away with India. They play Mauritius today at 7:30. Of course, we won't be covering that game. We'll be busy with the 7 o'clock game between Odisha and Brisbane Roar. Another cracking game of football that we have. This is Armando Sadiku, the Albanian international player, of course. Used to play in Spain for Levante. Plenty of experience in those legs. Of course, it didn't really quite enamor the Kolkata crowd when he played for Mohun Bagan, did he, JJ?
Not quite so. And especially how he's, adapted to this Goan side. It's evident the goal scoring ability that he's brought in, and he's fulfilled it throughout the group stage, scoring time and again for them. And I think he's already a reckon to watch out for, not just this game, but I'm sure the Indian Super League season upcoming, all the teams will be watching out and marking his name down whenever they're going to face FC Goa as we get ready for a free kick here.
Ball for Borja to take it again, the set piece specialist, and that's a very poor, very, very poor free kick by Borja. You expect a little bit better from him. It's true what they say, isn't it, JJ, that go where you are loved and not, or go where you're appreciated or loved, not where you're tolerated. And Sadiku was almost kind of tolerated in Mohun Bagan, certainly not loved. FC Goa, I see it happening different for him. The fan base perhaps a little bit different, more in perhaps more in sync with the team in that sense. Of course, the Kolkata supporters and Kolkata football fans, they know their football, nothing against them. But it's a very big pressure playing for Mohun Bagan or East Bengal and then playing for FC Goa. It's kind of different, isn't it?
Indeed, and if you look at the past also of how players have moved to a side like Goa from big clubs like that where there's a lot of pressure, I think a good example would be Sandesh Jingon itself. If you look at how he played for the Blasters in the past and then he moved to Goa before leaving and now he's back. So, yeah, I think players do receive the opposite end of love and fame from playing for those big teams. It's a lot more calm. It's a lot more composed. It allows them to focus on their football as well rather than just pleasing the fans.
Well, we have a comment here by Jay Ghost saying, "Hi, Joel and Ryan. Love your combination. Great commentator. Shout out to you guys." Well, shout out to you also, my friend, whoever you are. It's a very very good start to this game. Very good tempo, very good pace. Both teams, of course, not shying away from their responsibilities. We are into the knockout phase of the tournament. FC Goa against Defensa Justicia. The winner will go into the final. That shot coming in by Vergara, number 9, who has been pretty good this tournament so far. Scored 2-3 goals already, JJ. One perhaps to look for in the future, maybe a player that we can remember the name, as cricket lovers remember Carlos Brathwaite and that epic commentary in that World Cup final that happened in Eden Gardens in Kolkata, that final. So perhaps a remember the name moment for Vergara, number 9. He's been superb so far this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's one tournament for him to remember as a nice dribble unfurls here.
Ball now for FC Goa, looking for Sadiku, can't find him. Ball back again with Defensa Justicia. That's Sadiku again with the hold-up play. 9 minutes in, 0-0. If you're just tuning into the game now, FC Goa are, of course, in their wine jerseys. Ball gets to the byline, cuts it back. Was looking for Bryson, number 42, couldn't find him. That eventually is cleared away by number 17, Boris. So, of course, India playing in Mauritius today also. We do have to mention that today here in this game. Of course, it is an international match. What do you think of that? India, Mauritius. Plenty of Indian heritage players and population in Mauritius. So what do you think of that?
Well, it's going to be wonderful because if you look at how Indian football has played over the years, particularly if you look at Mauritius, they're one of those sides we've seen the Indian team go up against many times. Of course, they've had good performances and bad ones, and this is more or less an ideal one for us to see how Manolo Marquez has brought the team together and how his ideologies are going to unfurl with this Indian side.
It's kind of a gentle start, isn't it? It's like it's not one of the big African teams. It's not like a Kenya, like a Ghana, something like that. It's one of the, with all due respect to Mauritius, but one of the weaker sides in the African continent at the moment. That shot coming in, so it is one of the perhaps an easy start. I do say that easy with complete lightly, but one of the better opponents perhaps to face when you're starting off your career as an international manager, isn't it, JJ?
Indeed. And that's exactly what Mr. Marquez also said in one of his interviews, that this is just a glimpse of what is yet to come. It allows them to understand and also keep the bigger goals in mind. Of course, as the players brought down here, foul.
Foul there by Bormida, the captain of this Defensa Justicia side. Talking now about this Defensa Justicia side, we've seen a lot of energy, a lot of, obviously they're all 17, 18-year-olds, so they will have a lot of energy. If they don't have energy now, I don't know when they will. But we've seen a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of garra, Argentina, a lot of aggression also by this Argentina side. Do they have to tone it down a little bit, or should they carry on the way they are? Because that is what makes them what they are, pretty much. Argentinian culture and Argentinian people are usually like this. So what do you think, JJ, about that?
No, I don't think they should tone it down all in all, because that is something that they rest behind and that's how they perform. And you would, unless you're Sir Alex Ferguson, you would never change your behavior altogether. And I'm bringing that reference because I was recently watching how David Beckham changed his. As here, it's a free kick for FC Goa again.
Yeah, Borja to take it. Free kick coming in. Ball is back again with FC Goa. And ball back again for the men in wine. Today that would be number 17, Boris, to take this throw-in. So it's interesting that you mentioned, that they wouldn't be changing. Of course, I mean, if, I'm a coach myself, why would I want my team to change or tone down the way that they are, the way that they play, the way that they behave? The thing is that they don't want to be playing with 9 men in a potential final. If they do qualify, chance here for Defensa Justicia. Offside. They wouldn't want to have more players sent off than what they should, pretty much. I mean, them and Brisbane Roar have had 2 players sent off each, so perhaps they have that in mind also, JJ.
Yeah, definitely. They would reiterate those thoughts time and again. And here they are, of course, the traveling team. And that extra bit of urge will be in them as well to play and perform at their best. And especially now the circumstances are against them with regards to their players being suspended in this game. And the coach also in his interview did mention the emphasis on the younger players getting this opportunity to prove themselves.
Ball now for Odey Onainda Zavala, number 16, the captain of this FC Goa side. One thing that I've been impressed by this Defensa Justicia team, JJ, perhaps we can break it down just as Arne Slot broke down the tactics that failed Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United on Sunday. I'm a very big Liverpool fan, so you have to excuse me for that. We're going to break down this Defensa Justicia, how they perform and how they play. I mean, they do have 2 banks, 1 bank of 4, 1 bank of 5, and then they have Vergara up front all by himself. But the way that they press, the way they close down the players, the opposing players, their aggression, the way that they run, the way that they are constantly harassing the opponent and opposition, but the way that they also can, and this is interesting to note, just sit back and soak up the pressure. It's for me as a coach, it's fascinating to watch that they're not just a one-trick pony team in the sense that they just go pressing all out. They're a team that can also just sit back, soak up the pressure, clear the lines, and be solid. Chance here for FC Goa, opportunity! Good save there by Maximo Gonzalez. What do you think about that, JJ?
Oh, wonderful point. I think any team that has the ability to switch up or adapt to the game and then switch from a certain situation to another, that shows how good a team is, and that shows how much control they can have of the game. So sometimes you may think that this team is being dominated, but actual truth is that they have control over their game and they don't rush in, and they have the ability to immediately switch up on the offense if they want to. And those are the best of teams. You gave Liverpool as an example.
That was a decent shot there. Good save by Katimani. You're completely right. And for all of our viewers just watching from outside, you might think that one team is dominating the other with possession and so forth. Perhaps the other team is allowing them to have possession. It's not the possession that counts, is what I always say. It's where you have that possession. Because you might have 70% possession, but that is being played between the centre backs and full backs and defensive midfielder, and it really is in a position that doesn't really bother anyone. So it's not, don't just focus on the possession-based football, it's where the possession unfurls. That is something that I always tell my players, and they have it vividly ingrained in their brain. I'd much rather have 30% possession in the right place than 70% possession in the wrong place. Corner kick now for for Defensa Justicia. Change of the angle on the volley. Cleared away though by O'Day. And that shot goes wide. What do you think about what we're discussing here, JJ, about the possession-based football and the importance of where the possession is and not how much possession you have?
I mean, the best example I can give is the opening match for Argentina in the previous World Cup against Saudi Arabia, where I think Argentina had majority of the possession, but it just came down to this couple of goals that Saudi Arabia scored, and that shows how important it is to play quality football, because the number of minutes that you have on possession doesn't make a difference. I remember there used to be a stat while watching Indian football. It would specify the attack index of a certain team in the 3 different periods of the match. At the end of the day, that never mattered as long as the team, even with a lesser attack, ends up winning the game.
I used to use Instat. I still use Instat a lot for statistics and for heat maps and so forth, and that shows it just shows you the different areas of attack that each player favors and where their heat map is and all that kind of stuff. It's just fascinating. Football has become so different over the course of the last perhaps 2 decades, maybe even just a decade ago, where all these statistics and so forth were not widely considered to be important for football. But nowadays, every little bit matters. And here comes FC Goa on the attack. Decent ball in, cleared away by Gonzalez. So it's important to also, I mean, that's why many teams nowadays, JJ, have a first team performance analysts, opposing performance analysts, you know, to just make sense of all the numbers and stats that are available on platforms like Instat and WeScout and so forth, to just make sense of it all. Because for any normal person, it's just a load of numbers. But for a professional that focuses their career on that kind of analysis, they can present to the head coach a pretty good report about how the opposing team plays, about how your team plays, about what to do, what not to do, how to counteract the opposing team. And nowadays, that is so important. Before, in the past, it just used to be one person going to scout the opposing team in person, and then just making a report based on that. Nowadays, you sit behind a screen and you have all the stats you want on planet Earth, and it makes life not easier, it just enriches the game of football, doesn't it, JJ?
Indeed, it does enrich the game of football, and the important factor is which team uses all of these stats efficiently. And I think in today's football, we see an evident difference coming out in teams that have such positions. As you mentioned, you have an analyst on both the ends, and the teams that are adapting from that perspective in terms of using technology to its best, using all the given resources to the best, have proved to play better football. And I think we do inculcate innovation in those manners, and the game is improving altogether. Like, look at the ball as well. I think now we even have footballs which have cameras in them.
And obviously, you know, the goal line technology, footballs that instantly ping on the referee's watch. I don't think we have that in this Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy. We're still relying on the naked eye of the referees and officials. Ball now for FC Goa. I mean, some things, of course, cannot change. I mean, if you do not have VAR, you do have the officials, which have been doing the game for the past 120 years. So nothing does have to change. It does help as that ball gets played in for FC Goa. Had a bit of a glitch on my system. That's another chance for Bandodkar now. Nice 1-2. Shot coming in. Cleared away by Defensa and Justicia. JJ, there is no time for you to change your prediction now. How are you seeing the game? Are you still going for a draw? I mean, you can't change it now, mate. I'm sorry about that. But FC Goa are, as you rightly, or as I rightly pointed out, or as we've been discussing throughout, they are taking the game to this Defensa Justicia side, are dominating, and they're having possession in the right right areas. JJ, that's important.
That's true. They are having the position in the right areas, and I think that's why I'm giving them that one goal. But as for the opposition, if you notice, let's not forget they did have a couple of shots go towards Katimani's way, and that's put him to work. So I still feel they will, bring out their football and play the same way they have been playing throughout this campaign, and that's why I won't take it away from them because their defense also doesn't seem shaky at any given point of time when they're controlling the ball on their half as well. They don't seem to be in a hurry to engage themselves on that forward, nor are FC Goa making them push hard for that goal. So they are not falling into FC Goa's trap, at least from this point of view.
And that just shows you the level of maturity in these young lads from Defensa Justicia. It does. It shows you that they're well drilled, a well-oiled machine, a good team that's been coached by a good coach, and the work that they do on the youth system in Argentina is superb. That's why you see so many young Argentinians leaving Argentina so early and performing well in Europe. I mean, Julian Alvarez comes to mind. He obviously came to Man City when he was 20, and he performed. And now he's at Atletico Madrid. And Maximiliano Perrone, another player who's in Las Palmas now, again signed by Man City. A lot of young Argentinians are making moves abroad and fulfilling their promise and talent. Nothing to do with visa problems or anything. Argentina is not a European Union member, so they do have to go through that process also. Same as Indians will have to go through that process. Then my question is, I'll come back to that now, and you probably already figured out what the question is. Why aren't Indian youngsters doing the same thing, JJ? I'll come back to you after this corner kick with this. Just keep it in mind, and you can prepare an answer for that because it's quite an interesting conversation that we can unfurl over here at Sportscast India. Why aren't young Indian players going to play abroad? And if they do, why are they returning home so quickly? We had that goalkeeper playing in Slovakia. Cleared away though by Defensa y Justicia. So do let us know, JJ. What do you think about that? Why are young Indian players, not leaving India and going abroad? And if they do leave, why do they come back so early?
I think it's relatively simple. The difference in skill level. Speaking to a few of my friends who've actually gone, let's take Europe for example, for education, they are like tier one players here. They're playing for the top universities, and when they go there, they struggle to make it to the second or third tier or the third string team in their university itself, whichever they are studying in in the UK or any other place in Europe. So the difference in level seems to be a big problem for the Indian players trying to go abroad and change things up. So I think in order to address that also, they're going to have to be exposed to it at a younger age. Going at your 15, 16, 17 years sees a big gap because look at players like Lamine Yamal, who's 15, 16 and playing at the top level. So I think they're going to have to start going a lot younger, maybe when they are learning football at the grassroots level, because fundamental needs to be exposed at a very young age at the high level.
Well, you're absolutely correct there, JJ. So 27 minutes in this game. Still 0-0 between FC Goa and Defensa Justicia. The Argentinian side on the charge here, still deadlocked at 0-0. Cross coming in, cleared away though, not far enough. Decent opportunity for Defensa y Justicia. So we've received some interesting concepts here. One says that they don't want to go out of their comfort zone, plus the salaries is in India is 3 or 4 times higher than what they get in Europe. Perhaps in Europe they actually pay what they're worth. That is something that, again, is another discussion to be had. I mean, you go to a club in Europe and the experience will be tremendous, but the salary will be actually what you're worth. I mean, I do believe that here in India, you know, there is a problem with overvaluing players, overhyping players, which then lose to Afghanistan, JJ. No offense, but that kind of has to change. A reality has to settle in, some degree of realism, and which currently we live in a bubble here in India. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents worth on that. I mean, I've been here long enough to see how everything works, and it's yeah. I'm sorry if I offend anyone with my brutal honesty, but it's an interesting conversation to have, JJ. Ball now for FC Goa. So 0-0, my friend. It's a pretty decent game of football so far, and none of these teams are, well, both teams cancelling each other out so far, aren't they, JJ?
Indeed, and I more or less like the way Defensa here, Justicia has done a very good job in terms of containing that FC Goa attack time and again. You know that they are the slightly younger players as opposed to the FC Goa side. Of course, mostly experienced Indian players, not the first string for FC Goa, but they also do have their international players, along with the likes of Sadiku, who's on a roll in terms of scoring. So they've contained him because he's usually knocking the doors by now many a times. We've not seen many shots coming from him as well.
Ball now for Defensa Justicia. I have a student of mine who actually I used to coach back in a school in Trishur when I was in Trishur. He was 12, 13 years old at the time. Now he's 17, 18. He's actually playing in the second division in UAE. And he's got there not because he's paid to play there. He's got there because he's good enough. So there are exceptions to the rule. But of course, once those players are good enough to play outside, they do look back home. They come back home every summer. They come back home for the holidays, and they do kinda miss the vibe back home in India. I mean, I've been here for the past 8.5 years. The vibe in India is tremendous. I love it. I mean, that's why I'm still here. But there is a question to be asked about that, about the mentality, about the home comforts. Yes, in Argentina maybe it's kind of different in the sense that they are coming from a position of they have to either make it or you know, they won't amount to much in life. Here in India, if you don't make it as a professional football player, you'll be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, or something of the sort, because so much emphasis is placed on studies, which by no means is bad, but still, that is a big difference. Many of these young Argentinian players, let me tell you for a fact, I know quite a lot of them, not these bunch, but I know quite a lot of them, when they emigrated, they had either just finished school at 17 or 18, they had not finished their education, and they took a chance on football because it's their only way out. Here, you have options because it's a country
Yep.
that puts its emphasis on education, not on sport. So that, my friend, I think is the root cause of the issue as to why many talented youngsters don't make it onto a bigger stage. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, fair enough. I think I see two perspectives. Of course, the first one being how India, you have a lot of alternatives, right? If you look at most of the teams in sports like football and basketball, you have teams that represent the departments. So you have the income tax team or you have a bank team. And when you play for these teams, you have a chance at making it to the international level, of course, representing the country. And at the same time, you are also assured a job, a government quota job. So that's one reason as to why a lot of players prefer that, because just in case it doesn't work out, they have that. And at the same time, I think it's the devotion to a particular place, because you have grown up in a certain place for so long and you're like, okay, fine, I want to get back and maybe try and represent that particular state, which as of now is not the highest standard of football. Let's say, you grew up in West Bengal. You obviously, your dream would be to play for Mohan Bagan in India, and that is, again, like you mentioned, it is limiting your dreams in terms of going big. And instead of being the player playing for Mohan Bagan, you could potentially be the first player from Kolkata to play for a big club in Europe. So yeah, it's my 2 cents there.
Awesome stuff. So back to the game, and it's still 0-0. Bohiler with the ball, looking for Acosta, his opposite fullback. 0-0 here at the Fatorda Stadium in the semi-final of the Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy. This is Acosta once more. A very interesting comment and discussion that we're having here at the commentary box. Folks, children that are watching here on our YouTube channel, because I do have to call you that because of the way that you're commentating on or writing on our YouTube chat. We do like to have different conversations about football pertaining to the match also, of course, but pertaining to the wider football panorama here in India when we are commentating and when there's a bit of a lull during the game. There are lulls during the game where nothing is really happening, as it hasn't happened over the last 4 or 5 minutes. So we do like to discuss different things about football pertaining to the trophy, pertaining to the teams, pertaining to the youngsters, how we can improve Indian football. And I do thank Sportscast India for giving us the opportunity to be frank with the way that we express ourselves, obviously without crossing a line. And, it's fantastic that we're able to chat about these different things here during our commentary stint. This is number 44, Nemil. Nemil now with the ball to Borges. This is Boris. Gets to the byline. Boris! Chance for FC Goa. Cleared away eventually by Villagra. So, absolutely fascinating discussion that we're having between myself here and my co-commentator JJ. I do call him JJ because his name is James Joel. So I'd rather call him that than have a mouthful when I have to go back to you, JJ. So ball for FC Goa once more. Nice bursting run from the back. Borja gets to the byline. Borja cuts it back. Surely! Wide. FC Goa turning the screw, JJ.
Oh yes, it's the last two attempts, the last two times they've come in on the attack. They've got a couple of chances, this time not hitting the target, of course, but the previous one put the keeper to some work that led to a clearance. And now FC Goa looking to make use of the last 10 minutes here in the first half.
Corner kick for Borja again. This time it's a better one. And that header, I think it was Bayode, safely into the hands of the goalkeeper. So 0-0 so far in this game. FC Goa have a few fans today in attendance, JJ. I think it's the most amount of people that we have seen in the ground so far in this Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy, which is good to see them flocking to the ground and watching their home team play this international game against Defensa and Justicia. Always good to have fans in the audience, isn't it, JJ?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, what is football without the fans, one can say. And here, it's good to see a few of them turning up to the stadium. Actually, I was looking at FC Goa socials where they had mentioned, and I'd seen a post of how the previous match, their final league game against Dempo, the match which was shifted to another stadium, that also did have a lot of fans turn up at the stadium. Perhaps they listened to you, Joel, when you asked the players to, you asked the fans to go ahead and watch the game live.
Yeah, well, if people listen to me a little bit more, the world will be better, trust me. Ball now for Defensa y Justicia, because I don't just waffle about anything and anyone. Sometimes hard truths have to be told and said, and I'm the kind of person that I'm not afraid of saying things as they are. That's a free kick there, clearly by Quiroga. So more people like that needed in Indian football, and less fantasies and more realities. Ball now for Borges. Roland Borges plays it back to Nim Dorji. This is Akash Sangwan. Ball now nicely played there by FC Goa. Armando Sadiku. Ball now for Borges again. Opens it up wide to Boris. Boris with space. Boris. Crossed by Boris. Sadiku! Goal! Gol! Armando Sadiku! FC Goa 1, Defensa y Justicia 0, JJ 1-0.
There we go, it's come. They changed their intent after that 35th minute, and now it's Armando Sadiku. I did mention that he's not been taking chances as usual, and this time he just needed one shot, well controlled by him to follow up with a good shot to beat the keeper, and FC Goa take the lead here at the 40th minute.
Well, it has been coming. Armando, the goal machine Sadiku, is at it again, revitalizing his career after a poor campaign at Mohun Bagan, where the fans did not take to him, where he was not loved, where he was not celebrated, he was simply tolerated. And here in Goa, I'm seeing, JJ, that he is going to be absolutely cherished in the Goan jersey.
Oh, definitely. A state like Goa that loves their football would definitely back and love their players. And I'm sure they already are in love with him and his ability to score goals. And I'm sure the league, of course, the Indian Super League draws in a lot more fans. And I think they already will have a chant for Armando Sadiku ready and up in the making.
Well, 1-0 for FC Goa, nothing that they haven't deserved so far in this game. Another cross coming into no one really, but that ball is for Sadiku again. Cleared away by Gonzalez. Rolling Borges. This is Borja. Cleared away though. This is Bormida, the captain for Defensa Justicia. 1-0 in this game between FC Goa of the ISL and the under-20 side of Defensa Justicia, the youngsters who caused furore and upset as they beat Churchill Brothers, narrowly lost to Odisha, and beat Chennai by 2-0 in the quarterfinal on a couple of days ago, actually, on Saturday. Ball now for Goa again, and that is easy for Maximo Gonzalez to gather. So, JJ, 1-0. How are things going to change now?
Till now, the opposition was playing a lot more control. They were allowing FC Goa to take the attacking pedestal. I think now, given the fact that it's a semi-final, I think in the second half they need to go a lot more aggressive, because this could be their last game here in India should they lose the game. So keeping that mentality, the nothing to lose mentality altogether. I know they have just a few options on the bench. It is a bit of a depletion that they are facing. But all in all, given the fact that it's a semi-final game, they just need to give it their all. And rather than sitting back and just waiting, they need to take initiative a lot more.
Well, I do agree with you on that. The fact that they have to take a little bit more initiative now, this Defensa Justicia side. They're trailing by 1-0. Here comes FC Goa again. That was Akash Sangwan with an inverted run from the fullback position. Rolling Borges. This is back to Nemil. Now Borja Herrera back to Rolling Borges. This is Odey, Herrera, Borges combining. Nemil. Nice combination. Nice little nutmeg there by Nemil. And Akash Sangwan can't get the ball. And back again with Defensa Justicia, who I don't think will be changing the way they approach the game in the last few minutes of this first half, but something does have to change in the second half for this Defensa Justicia side, because even though they've had a few chances in this match, already testing Katimani inside the first 50 minutes, they really haven't had clear-cut chances. This is Mirko Bokiler. Bokiler, nice little move. Bokiler comes inside, and it's Borja Herrera who he tries to skip past, can't do that. Ball for Sadiku, cleared away by Defensa Justicia, out for a throw-in for FC Goa. Good intensity to this game by FC Goa. Good initiative on the front foot, pinning this Defensa Justicia team back. And as of now, the Argentinians have no reply, no answer, JJ.
Indeed, their answer would be to break the FC Goa defense, for which they're going to need a little bit more of the possession. That itself is a concern for them at the moment, let alone the fact that they're trailing by a goal. And now FC Goa continue this quick and successful passes time and again.
Yeah, it does have a Manolo Marquez team written all over it, doesn't it, JJ?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm sure he will be keeping tabs on this game, and he will be happy with his team's performance so far. Of course, we know that they're a little worried about the pitch condition. We heard their coach say that as well in the interview, but they seem to be fine. They seem to be playing a good game altogether. The pitch doesn't seem to be affecting their match.
Well, if Manolo Marquez, he will be watching this game. That means that he's listening to us, JJ. No pressure. The India head coach listening to myself and JJ commentating on his beloved FC Goa. Well, hola, Don Marquez. Esperemos que estés bien. Y esperemos que el partido de hoy contra las Islas Mauricio sea un gran partido. Here comes FC Goa again. Chance for a second. Cleared off the line by Acosta. 3 minutes of added on time. Now Vergara. Foul. No, says the referee. So it's obviously they're preparing for, Manolo Marquez and co are preparing for that game at 7:30 between India and the Mauritius Islands, of course. Las Islas Mauricio contra India hoy a las 7:30 de la noche. So it's going to be a pretty interesting game, that one. But back to this game. 3 minutes of added on time. 1-0 between FC Goa and Deportivo Defensa y Justicia. You mentioned about things that Defensa y Justicia have to change. What about FC Goa? They just have to continue in the same verve, same poise that they're doing, aren't they?
Yes, indeed. I think that's what they need to do. Plus, they have a lot of options on the bench, a lot of quality on the bench as well. You know, Sahil Tavora is also waiting to come off the bench. So I think they just need to stick to their strengths. That is the quick passes, that is efficient for them, and fall back and not linger too much on the offense.
That was a decent cross there for Defensa Justicia. Very interesting points that you're making there, JJ. I do appreciate, and I believe plenty of our viewers and fans are appreciating the insight that you are bringing to this game also, as we see that opportunity that was, I think, that was Bryson Fernandez with that little chance that in the end Gonzalez managed to palm away. Ball now nicely done for Defensa Justicia. Was he brought down? Was he brought down? The referee is ignoring that. We're going to see it again. Nah, that's not a penalty, JJ. What do you think?
No, it's not. It's a similar attempt the previous time when he was 1v1 with that player from the back. There was a slight connection, not a connection. There was a slight touch between the player running from the back. And of course, a team like this in that run would try and draw a penalty. That would be ideal way for them to come back into this game. And it does happen in football, right? I think a lot of players would try to gain a penalty by doing that, unless you do it blatantly and get booked by the referee.
I'm pretty sure, JJ, you in that position would do exactly the same thing, my friend. You would try to con the referee. JJ, the con artist. Ball back again with Defensa Justicia. Just 20 seconds left of this first half. They'll be wanting to go into the halftime interval with just one down. If they can get an equalizer, that would be all the better. This is Quiroga. Quiroga, nice run by Quiroga. Quiroga gets to the byline. Good defending, good covering there by FC Goa. Now Boris can break with pace. Boris, bad pass. And now again, Bormida still with the ball. Bormida opens it up wide. Number 16, this is Oberman Benitez. That shot goes over the bar. 1-0 for FC Goa. We are going to go into the halftime interval shortly with this scoreline as both teams look to qualify for the final. What would you say if you were both head coaches? Let's keep it short, JJ. What would you say if you were the FC Goa coach and the Defensa Justicia coach?
Oh, FC Goa is definitely continue playing the same way because they have done well on both the offense and defensive side. They have enough number of players on the defense every time the oppositions try to attack. As for a Defensa Justicia, definitely just change the intensity. We saw the last-ditch effort where he took the shot, it went over the post. They need to constantly go on those attacks, perhaps test Katimani from distance a little more, a few more times, and maybe they can come back into this game and avoid heading back to Argentina.
Well, they can't avoid heading back to Argentina because they will have to eventually one day go back to Argentina. But I do understand what you're trying to say. And of course, from distance, Katimani, as we've seen previously in the ISL, can produce the occasional clanger or howler or two. So we're going to be having a short break now here at the Fatorda Stadium. FC Goa 1, Armando Sadiku, Defensa Justicia 0. Time for a break. Back with you guys in 10 minutes time for the start of the second half, which we're bringing you live from Sportscast India and FIFA Plus.
मागीर हॉलिडे आहा न्हू रे हॉलिडे आहा न्हू रे ताका म्हणून तुवें सांगूं ना ताका बेगीन हय आं बरें ओके आं बरें ओके बरें 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 कर मनीस तो बरें चलो गेम स्टार्ट जावचे जालें एफ गोवा न्ही आहा एक मारला कितें
So both sets of players waltzing out into the middle of the ground for the start of the second half between FC Goa and Defensa y Justicia. 1-0 for Goa, goal scorer Armando Sadiku, of course. JJ, I hope you're here. What needs to be done in the second half?
Oh, well, for Goa, it's relatively simple. All they have to do is sit back, slowly introduce all of their substitutes. There itself, they're going to have an upper hand against the opposition because they have just 3 substitutions to make and 3 substitutions available. So it does seem like it could go in Goa's favor unless the opposition decides to just switch up their pedestal, engage a lot more on the offensive end, and perhaps find the ball in the back of the net and take this game to extra time, as I hope it would.
Everyone knows that you hope that because that's what you predicted at the beginning of the game. JJ went for a 1-1 draw and then Defensa y Justicia to win in extra time. And I went for a 3-1 Goa win, so I do believe Defensa y Justicia have it in them to score a goal. But I think FC Goa are just a tad too strong for this Defensa y Justicia side. So Armando Sadiku with the only goal of the game so far in this first 45 minutes, first half, as we kick off. Any substitutions? Ayush has come on, number 14. So we will have to wait on that. Ayush has come on. We did see number 14 kicking off with Armando Sadiku. So for who he has come on, we shall have to wait and see. Sadiq, this is yeah, that was number 8. That was Drazic. Throw-in taken by Sangwan. Borja. Nice combination. Cleared away though by Defensa y Justicia. You see those Defensa y Justicia players, they're going in for every single challenge, aren't they, JJ?
Yeah, it is important that they go on about in that similar way. And they do have plenty of time. I think that is an important factor. 45 minutes, we can see a lot of changes happen in a football game, but the team needs to show that intent and they need to let the opposition know that they are going to attack in that manner, because that's when you put the opposition alert in a certain way, and that's where the error can come through. The same way how FC Goa let their opposition know throughout the first half that they are going to try and score the goal, and they just didn't stop. They just continued attacking in the same manner before finding the back of the net.
Well, now with Akash Sangwan in that inverted winger, in that inverted wing-back position. This is Borges. Sorry, that's Nemil. Eventually gathered again though by FC Goa. Nice possession. Once again Borges. This is Borja. Switch play. That's Nimdorji, number 30, to Akash Sangwan. Sangwan with a cross for Sangwan for Goa. Another cross coming in. Oh, over the bar. Good opportunity there for Nemil, JJ.
A very good one indeed. And Goa can definitely give themselves a much better advantage scoring that second goal. And I think that would entirely put the game away. And that's what they
And you
will
won't
look
be
to do
happy
in the
about it.
early on in the second half.
Yeah, and you won't be happy about it because obviously you want them to draw. So yeah, definitely. We always have this kind of banter here in the commentary box where we try to predict um, the game results before we kick off. So just a reminder, JJ went for a 1-1 draw and a Defensa Justicia win in extra time. I went for a 3-1 win for FC Goa. As of now, you need one more goal only. I need still 3 more goals to happen in the second half. Anything can happen, as you rightly pointed out at the beginning, in this beautiful game of football. Bit of a stoppage here. I think there's going to be a substitution, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not sure what's happening because the camera obviously is not panning. There you go. Substitution.
Understand Quiroga as the replacement by player number 18, Davi Cruz.
So Cruz has come on for Quiroga. Thankfully, the stadium announcer caught that. Cameraman didn't. Fast asleep as that shot comes in for Defensa y Justicia. A substitution for both teams then. Ayush came on and Cruz has come on for Quiroga. We have to still wait and see for who Ayush has come on. We will have to delve into the mystery that is surrounding Ayush's substitution. We've got no information as to who he's come on for, and that's not good enough for Nemil. Cleared away by Odeo Nainda. Decent looking ball. This is chance here now for Vergara. Vergara leaves the ball behind. A little bit more intention by Defensa Justicia, JJ. Here they come again. So yeah, a little bit more intent, isn't it? Another chance. Onside. This is Cruz. Cruz. Chance for Defensa Justicia. Opportunity still there. This is Sosa. Cleared away by FC Goa. A little bit more push and drive, JJ.
Indeed. And I think they just struggled to get the shot away. For a moment there, a few of them were in good positions with a few good options, but they didn't get that shot away. And then the shot which was attempted, not the best of it, it was grounded and relatively easy for the FC Goa defense to take care of it. But as you mentioned, yes, the intent is coming in from the side and they have to constantly engage themselves on the same lines. And they do have plenty of time, and I hope that they just take a few more shots and not double think, because you can see players slightly hesitating instead of going for the shot first time. And now FC Goa look to go back on the attack again.
So ball for Borges. This is Akash Sangwan now once more. Plays it back to Borja. So Bryson has been replaced, JJ, as Borja now maybe gets to the byline, crosses it in. Decent ball in by Borja. And that's going to be a foul. So Bryson was taken off, replaced by Ayush. So Bryson off, Ayush has come on. Ball now for Cruz. Throw in for Defensa y Justicia. Throw in to be taken by Sosa. To Gonzalez, back to Sosa. Ball back to Bormida, the captain. This is Mirko Bohiler, the goal scorer for against that Chennai side that they beat in the virtual quarterfinal that we saw on Saturday. Gonzalez again. Nice penetrating pass. This is a good build-up play here for Defensa Justicia. Sosa with the cross. much more intent in this second half for Defensa and Justicia. And here comes FC Goa now on the charge. Nice run. This is Nemil now. Good challenge though. So again, there is a bit of confusion as to who Ayush has replaced in this FC Goa side. We'll get to the bottom of it. Absolutely no worries about that. This is Drazic. 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 Drazic over the bar. Glorious chance, JJ.
Indeed. And I'm sure he'll be thinking so there is a good chance for them to put the opposition away given how they were attacking. This is very good dribbling from him, good ball control, but not the best of finishes. He did confuse the defender there, got a clear-cut chance, and he just went too strong with that shot. And you should have seen the follow-through reaction from the keeper. I think that resonates with how we were talking about the mentality and aggression coming in from the Australian, the Argentinian players.
So I must have been going blind, or I do need to go to Specsavers because apparently Ayush has not come on. It was Nemil that started the game with Armando Sadiku. So guys, if you do know a good optician all the way down in Tiruvananthapuram and Trivandrum, do let me know, please, because I'll be more than happy to go and meet him or her to get my eyes checked up because Ayush has not come on. Yeah, we do get it wrong occasionally here at the commentary box also. We are humans at the end of the day. None of us are perfect. So I do apologize to that for all the viewers watching from home. Mea culpa, as we say back home. Ball is with FC Goa. This is Borja. Ball again now, just Goa just controlling the aspects of the game, just dictating tempo, dictating the game, relaxing the match down. They're leading by 1-0. So it's their game to lose pretty much. This is number 8, Drazic again. It's a slow pace now. They've just slowed it down, haven't they, JJ?
Yeah, I think FC Goa are dictating the pace of the game right now because they have the lead and they know that the opposition is a lot more in a hurry to get the possession. And the more FC Goa hold on to the possession, the more eager Defensa Justicia is going to be in order to win back the ball and try and have a go. They did get a little bit of momentum in terms of engaging themselves on attack back-to-back occasions, but couldn't quite come through. And here we go, finally, the substitution comes through.
Oh, they call me Nostradamus for a reason. Ayush has come on. Eventually, JJ. I was 10 minutes ahead of time. He hasn't come on for Bryson, though he's come on for Nemil. But still, Ayush has come on. Ayush Shetty. Wow. Vindicated, that's how I feel right now. So, Ayush for Nemil. Ball is back again with Gonzalez. Gonzalez to the other Gonzalez. Maximo Gonzalez in goal. Roman Gonzalez in defense. 1-0 for Goa. The goal scorer Armando Sadiku, the Albanian hitman, all the way from Tirana, scoring the goal for FC Goa. It was a very good finish, wasn't it, JJ? Cool, calm, and collected, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that speaks of his experience and his goal-scoring ability. The way he balanced it off to control it off his chest, and he immediately got that shot right. And I think you don't see many players at a high level going on with those calm and composed finishes. that put your team up. And that's again the fact that he's riding on finding the back of the net on so many occasions. A good chance here for
Here
Goa.
comes Sadiku, Sadiku! Crossbar! Wow. Great chance for FC Goa once again, JJ.
They will be thinking the second instance here in the second half where they had a very good chance. This time Sadiku has offside called here on the other side of the pitch. And FC Goa also showing us that they haven't entirely withdrawn their game. They have slowed it down, of course, but in terms of moving forward and having that intent to score one more, they are still very much in, and they will go on and create more chances like they did in the first half, and perhaps look to seal the game by scoring one more.
So another glorious chance there for Armando Sadiku to try and score a second for FC Goa to give themselves a little bit of a gap, of a distance. This Argentina side, Defensa Justicia, can be dangerous if given the opportunity. If FC Goa don't kill them off, footballing terms, of course, it's going to be quite an interesting, fiery last 30 minutes. JJ, it's tantalizingly poised, my friend.
Indeed. As we are in the 60th minute, as you mentioned, the next 30 minutes, FC Goa might have to work a little more on the defense because the other side is looking to score the equalizer. And they're going to have to quicken up their game and move forward with a lot more intent. Breaking the defense, that's the key. As they look to do that with the FC Goa defense. A few more of runs from the wings. That's what they should try and engage. We've seen them get a few good chances. A good cross was played earlier in the second half from that right wing. So they have to try and attack from one of the sides.
We saw at the bottom there that Vasquez is coming on for Defensa Justicia, another substitution. Right on the hour mark. Here comes FC Goa again, overlapping run, nicely done. If he finds a pass to the middle. Good defending by Roman Gonzalez. Last ditch tackle, much needed there for Defensa Justicia, JJ.
Yeah, that is true, and a substitution for Defensa Justicia as they look to find a super sub that can salvage themselves here. Vasquez will be coming in to this match. Hopefully he can be a super sub.
For who? For who is he coming on, JJ? I want you to pronounce that name. Let me see if you can do it. Who is number 8, JJ?
Number 8 is Viagra.
Yeah. More or less. Viagra. So the
Viagra.
double L is like a J. The double L is like a J for all of you guys watching. As you see, Armando Sadiku's opportunity here. Did nicely against Roman Gonzalez. And then tried to chip Gonzalez again. And that went and hit the crossbar. Well, he is coming on. Number 14 eventually coming on. They changed their mind. Coming on for number 10, actually. So Valdez is coming off. Villagra stays. And Vasquez has come on in his place. Corner kick for FC Goa. Decent ball in! Oh, so close! Yet so far. Corner kick again from the opposing side here for FC Goa. And Borja will take once more. But that was a delightful ball in. Nearly caught Gonzalez off his line. And a great opportunity for a goal olímpico there for Borja. He will take this corner kick again from the opposing side. 63 minutes into this match. 1-0 for FC Goa against Defensa Justicia. Borja takes it this time. Front post. Chance! Blocked by Defensa Justicia. Gets to the byline again and cleared away this time by the Argentinians. Goa, I realized, JJ, that when they want to turn the screw on, when they want to accelerate, they do that with ease, don't they?
They do. That's rightly pointed out, given the way they attacked right now, or a few moments back in the second half. When it started, we saw them just rotating the ball along their midfielders and defenders and dictating the pace of the game. And they are just playing with the opposition side right now because they have the lead, they have the pressure on the other team, which is evidently struggling to win back possession. That's what they're trying to do now.
Ball for FC Goa. The summit goes out of play for a throw-in for Defensa y Justicia. The kids who, against Chennai FC, showed that they are, well, becoming men slowly. Let's not forget they're still teenagers. Ball now for Defensa y Justicia again. Decent looking move here for the Argentinians. Oh, but that cross, JJ, that was a poor cross there. A good opportunity to ping the ball into the box. But not what was expected or what was needed, was it?
Yeah, I think at this point composure is very important, and I think he just slightly went over with that move. I mean, they have been composed though for the game. When you look at how they've responded to conceding the goal also, they haven't acted very hasty, but given the fact that they are running out of time, they might have to just loosen the screws. And I say loosen the screws in terms of playing a lot more loose, because it's better to try and score one more than concede one, because goal difference, none of it matters here. You just have to equalize and come back into the game now.
Yeah, they have to equalize and then win it at extra time, right? They have to do exactly what you want them to do, JJ. Ball now for Drazic. Drazic again. Looking for the overlapping run by Akash Sangwan. Cross coming in. Cleared away though by Defensa Justicia once more. And that's a throw-in for FC Goa. Decent ball for Borja. Borja still with possession. Borja with a cross. Looking for Sadiku. Gonzalez got there. And Drazic. And that goes out of play for a goal kick. What do you make of the tempo and intensity in the second half, JJ? It's been quite good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's very good, especially from FC Goa's side. They've played the football as they pleased, and every time they go on the attack, the opposition is put on a situation where they have to be alert and they have that no room for error, to which they've also responded very well. We saw that first goal was where Sadiku was not quite marked the ideal way he should be, and he received the ball easily and got that finish.
The header there by Vergara goes well wide. Goal kick to be taken by Katimani. Katimani has been quite quiet in the last 50 minutes or so. The Argentinians really haven't tested him, have they, JJ? It's been quite a quiet afternoon for him.
Yeah, that is true. I think the only one instance we can remember was in the first half. Maybe a second instance was also there, where he had to produce a save. Shot here.
That was a decent effort. That was a Sadiku again. Gonzalez taking his sweet time, just trying to find an opening. Passes it to Roman Gonzalez. Not a bad ball there. It's going to be a ball set in play, incredibly enough. Sosa, cross coming in. And now Borja, chance to break here for FC Goa. Bad touch there by Sadiku. This is number 14, Ayush. Ayush to Dejan Drazic. Back to Ayush. Ayush all the way back to Nimdorji. And in turn, he will play it out wide to Boris. Back to Odey. 22 minutes left on the clock here, guys. It is 1-0 for FC Goa with 20 minutes more or less left for them to qualify for the final. And for Defensa Justicia to catch their first flight back out of Goa. You think they'll fly back tonight if they lose, or they'll stay over for another few days to enjoy the experience that being in Goa is all about?
I think it depends on how much of experiencing they've done over the last couple of weeks or so. I'm sure they would definitely have focused on training more importantly. But I think, yeah, most of the teams that travel, especially internationally in this regard, they want to experience India on a very good note. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to stay down in Goa for a few more days and experience Goan culture. That is, of course, an experience in itself that everyone should gather.
Well, I agree with you there. It's an experience in itself here, Goan culture. When we do say culture, we know what we're talking about there, JJ. Ball is for FC Goa, Drazic. Drazic with space. Drazic. Nice cutback, looking for Akash Sangwan. Ball for Ayush. Decent looking ball for Sadiku, but Gonzalez comes out and gathers the ball. Vergara has been quiet today, the number 9 for Defensa Justicia. There's no supply for him. Crossed by Drazic. Oh! Cleared away though by Defensa Justicia. Corner kick, JJ, for the home side.
Indeed. A real good opportunity once again for them. And here the defender just ensuring that no error comes through. The goalkeeper not too happy with that. He wanted to collect it, but better safe than sorry for them because they're already trailing. And here we're at the 70th minute. Corner kick for Goa.
Borja takes it, cleared away though by Defensa Justicia. Ball back with Akash Sangwan. All the way back to Katimani, who, as we said already, has had a pretty simple game so far, pretty quiet game. Nothing really of note apart from that one save in the first half by Katimani. Apart from that, he's been really well shielded by Odey and by Nimdorji and by Akash Sangwan and Boris. Well, now for Boris again. Odey back to Nimdorji. Passes it out wide to Akash Sangwan. Long ball up the field. Looking for Dejan Drazic. Can't find him now. Defensa Justicia on the charge. And Drazic was coming back from an offside position. Tactically, Defensa Justicia, what do they need to do different? Because they're not penetrating this back line from Goa, aren't they, JJ?
Yeah, they're not, but from a gamble point of view, I would just encourage them to just have a go from distance, because you did mention Katimani has also not been tested as much. So if you test him from distance, he'll be put to the test.
Nearly, still haven't tested him as of yet. That was a good opportunity there for Sosa. Shimiri's defended quite well, but the shot was a poor one in the end. Out of play for a goal kick for FC Goa. Ball for the men in their maroon wine jerseys. Good tackle there by Gonzalez. Ball for Sadiku. Sadiku, nice opportunity here for Bryson. Nicely done. Cleared away in the end. That was a good run there by Bryson, JJ. He's been playing quite well today, Bryson.
Indeed. Brian Fernandez, a very good find for the FC Goa side. And he will also have to put out his best performance because you don't know that they have the prime league coming up. That's the Indian Super League. And he would love to get a few appearances there, and his performances here will be taken into account as, once again, FC Goa. Defensive duties, they're doing it well so far as the opposition looks to make use of this remaining 17 minutes.
Something important that you mentioned is many of these more fringe players for FC Goa and for Orisha and so forth, they're looking to make a mark in this tournament just to show their head coaches, the likes of Lovera, the likes of Owen Coyle for Chennai, the likes of Manolo Marquez, of course. Just that, you know, we are ready. If you guys need us, we are ready to perform in the ISL. Same as these young Argentinians. They're performing, and I'm pretty sure that back home in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, Defensa Justicia management are maybe having a look at this game and thinking, okay, yeah, maybe this goalkeeper Gonzalez, or maybe the centre back, or the fullback Bohiler, you know, just taking a look at these youngsters to try and figure out what possibility they have of breaking into the reserve team or the first team. So it might be a preseason friendly for many, and it is considered a preseason friendly, but I'm pretty sure for those fringe players and for these youngsters from Argentina, it's much more than just a preseason friendly, JJ. It's a lot more than that. Ball now for Bryson again. Plays it out wide to Boris. Back to Ayush. Akash Sangwan. Borja with the cross in. Clearance in the end by Defensa Justicia. So, JJ, if you were in this position, if you were a fringe player, would you consider this as a preseason tournament? Take it lightly? Or would you go out there and give it absolutely everything you have?
I mean, at least my thought process with regards to any tournament, whether it's a practice one or the main one, I'm usually accustomed to going all in. Nevertheless, and I think, as you mentioned, it's international exposure once again for them, because they are playing situational football, right? Right now, if you look at the given situation, they are playing in a standing where they are trailing, and they are, facing the pressure of being down 0-1, irrespective of the opponent. So when they go back and when they eventually start playing their leagues, this is all added up minutes. And the same way you talk about a pilot, right? The hours of flying hours adds on to your experience. The same thing for any football or professional football. The number of minutes you play on the pitch adds on to your experience.
Well, you heard it here first. JJ loves to go all in. So, drinks break. 1-0 for FC Goa against Defensa y Justicia. The goal scorer Armando Sadiku with the goal. It was a nice composed finish with a lot of panache, a lot of experience into the top corner from close distance. Nothing the goalkeeper Gonzalez could do about that. But it's still only at 1-0, tantalizingly poised. Any mistake at the back for FC Goa can see Defensa Justicia claw their way back into this game. I can't really say they've deserved it, to be honest, JJ. So number 19 is coming on. That's Alan Saji. He will be replacing number 42, Bryson. So Alan Saji has come on for Bryson. So another interesting substitution. Alan Saji, striker, coming on. What do you make of that, JJ?
Another young lad from the state of Kerala here will make an appearance. And yeah, you did mention he's a striker. He would love to score one and seal the game. And fresh legs would make a massive difference in this match, especially against Defensa Justicia, because they have lacked the number of available options from the bench. And in terms of experience, FC Goa do have a lot of players who are seasoned altogether, and that's why they have a lot more composure given the circumstance. They know that they have the lead. They know the situation in terms of how they might consider goal if they commit a silly error. So they are playing in that perspective, and Saji has a good chance to gain experience for himself as well.
Borges with a crossfield pass, looking for Drazic. Plays it back to Akash Sangwan. Sadiku with the ball back all the way to Nimdorji. Opens it up wide to Boris. This is Borges. Back to Boris, who has tons of pace to burn. Nice run there. Will he get there? Yes, he does. Cross coming in, Sadiku! Well, we saw quite a lot of that last season for Mohun Bagan, JJ. So far this season, he's been in superb form for Goa. That was a good chance.
Indeed. And had he found the back of the net off that rather cheeky shot, it would have been a good highlight for him and for the tournament as well, as a good ball is played onto the right here.
This is Oberman Benitez. Corner kick for Defensa y Justicia. Our namesake with the ball in, Joel Oberman Benitez, looking for Cruz. The striker partnering Vergara up front. That was another glorious chance. It will be again our namesake Joel Oberman Benitez to take the corner kick for Defensa y Justicia. 10 minutes left. Plus, of course, added on time. Benitez, oh, that's a poor cross there. Ball is still ricocheting, shot. Looking for Benitez, he's offside though in the end. Good opportunity for Defensa y Justicia, JJ.
Indeed. And perhaps the shots from outside the box in situations like this, in the history of football, we've seen so many times the ball finding the back of the net. The coach obviously will be a lot more eager given the fact that we're entering the last 10 minutes. And it's just 10 minutes that's going to determine whether Goa will make it to the finals or not. And the last 10 minutes, Joel, as a coach, you did mention you've never been in a situation where your team's down. So here, let's say your team is up, that's FC Goa. What is it you're going to tell them to do in the last 10 minutes? Because sometimes teams do tend to commit that very, very expensive error.
So if you do recall, I did mention that I was never down at half time. I have lost games.
Yes.
In the second half. But just wanted to clarify that, JJ, because people might think, I'm some sort of, no, I'm not. But what would I tell? I mean, you're asking me if I put myself into the Goa FC coach's head right now, what would I say to my players? Is that what you're asking, JJ?
Yes, indeed. How would you want them to go about the last 10 minutes of the game with the lead?
Well, number 22 is coming on now. That's Abawiya replacing number 18. So Abawiya, another youngster, replacing Roland Borges. I would want them to calm the game down and draw Defensa y Justicia out because they have to go for the game. So spaces will develop. That is only natural. So I would just try to calm the game down, kill the game, as we say back in Spain. Matar el partido is when you're 1-0 or 2-0 up and you have better players and you have a better squad and you have an advantage. You just calm the game down as much as you possibly can. There is no need for FC Goa to go all-out attack now. So I would just try to calm down the game. I have experienced players in Sadiku, Ode Onainda, we have Borja. Experienced players that can transmit that level of calm to the rest of the youngsters in the squad. So that's what I would like my team, what I would like to see from my team if I was in that position. Thankfully, I'm not. Thankfully, I am in the commentary box alongside you, JJ. So yeah, it's a less tension job. Not easier. Being a commentator is not easy, JJ. You have to pretty much tell the story of the game as it is. But it's a much more relaxed atmosphere than being in a dugout, that's for sure. I remember being a pack of nerves every single time in the dressing room just before the players went out. My life would flash just in front of my eyes every single time. So it's a very different experience. Really, it really is. And of course, being a coach and being a head coach when you were only 24 years old, it's a different experience. Now a bit older, I'm 34, so a lot more experience, a lot more calmness and composure. But still, every single time that we do have a game, it's jitters, butterflies in the stomach every single time. So we do have, enough of this, we do have another game coming up at 7 o'clock, JJ. Odisha against Brisbane Roar. That is going to be a pretty good game of football, don't you think, JJ? I'll come back to you now, JJ. This is Drazic. Drazic in the box. Drazic cuts back, looking for Sadiku! Gonzalez gathers. So what do you make of the 7 o'clock game, JJ? Odisha against Brisbane Roar.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing game for a couple of reasons. Because of first, if you look how Brisbane Roar have had a campaign, of course they did take that, but post that they've relatively been very, very good. The football they've been playing, it's rather dominating, and even if they are down, they are a team that you can't count. As for Odisha FC, of course, it's the coach. That man is a man you don't want to mess around with his thought process, and he knows the pitch here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, that's popularly known as the Fatorda. So I think it's going to be a cracker of a game only because of how these two teams are poised. But I'm going to go for a FC Goa and Brisbane Roar rematch in the finals.
So ball in there for Defensa Justicia, out for a corner kick. So you're going for a Brisbane Roar win. I'm also going for a Brisbane Roar win in that one. As the final substitution, Parroni comes on, number 12. Parroni is coming on for Defensa y Justicia. Number 12, replacing Oberman Benitez. Ball gets played in. Looking for Acosta, cleared away though by FC Goa. So what do you make also of that 7:30 game between India and Mauritius? I mean, a light game to start off Manolo Marquez's reign as head coach of the national team of India. What do you make of that as that shot comes in? Well, Borja with a decent effort there. That was close. So ball is with FC Goa again. Looking for a second goal. Cleared away, and that goes out of play for a goal kick. So as you were saying, JJ, a light game for Marquez to start his reign. They're going to have a full complement of players, of course, against Mauritius. What do you make of that?
Indeed, and I think the one factor we're all going to time and again look at is the forward lines. Of course, without Sunil Shetty, who's going to replace that one position, and we can assume that whatever starting 11 we see, that is what Mr. Marquez has in mind for the longer term. So yeah, we're going to get a glimpse of Manolo Marquez and Indian football and what's in store But of course, I'm looking forward to seeing the usuals, from Gurpreet Singh all the way to Rahul Beke or even Nikhil Pujari, Sahal Abdul, and Thapa. It's good to see all of them come together one last time in the Intercontinental Cup before they go up against each other in the ISL.
Well, that game will be telecasted at 7:30, of course, between India and Mauritius, the island of Mauritius, of course. Lots of Indian origin and Indian heritage players in Mauritius. 2 minutes left, JJ. It looks like neither of our predictions are going to happen. You said 1-1. I said a 3-1 win for Goa. I did say Goa would win, though. So I do get a bit of a brownie for that, don't I? Ball for Defensa Justicia. Cross coming in. Chance! No way, no way, no way! Oh! Blocked. Is that a handball? No, says the referee. Oh, they're claiming a handball. That was your moment, JJ.
Oh man, indeed. And for a second, I was like, oh, the moment you said that, the moment you were claiming your brownie, that's when the goal was almost scored. That would have been ideal circumstances, one could say. But yeah, looks like you're getting that brownie point.
Commentator's curse nearly in it. Nearly the commentator's curse once again. I don't think we managed to see that replay properly, but the Argentinians were claiming a handball. Oh, the Argentinians will claim absolutely everything, don't they? This is Bohiler. Ball now for FC Goa. That's a nice ball there by Drazic. Looking for the outfield pass, looking for Sadiku. Boris. That goes out of play for a corner kick for FC Goa. Just exactly where they want the ball in the final end of the pitch, JJ.
Yeah, that is true. And from here on, as you mentioned, the kill aspect, I did resonate with that because the little bit of basketball I've played, and that also when you have a lead, you just kill the clock, more or less. And we see it happen in almost every sport for that matter. And I think that's what FC Goa will look to do. 5 minutes have been added on. To be honest, that is plenty of time for a lot of action. But for now, it's FC Goa who might try and score it and seal it once and for all here in this corner kick.
Borja will take it. Borja takes it, punched away by Gonzalez. He has been looking for that goal, Borja, from the corner kick. Chance for a counter-attack, nice flicked header. Just 4 minutes left of this game now. Drazic loses possession. Bohiler with the ball. Mirko Bohiler. Bohiler. Ball in. Still for Defensa Justicia. Shot goes well wide. That's not what they needed, JJ.
Yeah, just when it looked like they were churning up something good, it just didn't turn out to be too good for them. And this is, I think, the third or fourth occasion maybe when they slowly engage on the attack on a good note. They just waste it by either a poor shot selection or a poor pass in the final third.
Well, the final pass lacking for Defensa Justicia. Borja's down injured on the field of play. Of course, a little bit of game management going on now for this FC Goa side. They know they have the game won in the bag. They know that this is enough to put them into the final to be played on Friday. Will make the Goan fans happy. And of course, Manuel Marquez will be delighted with this. His team winning by 1-0 against Defensa Justicia. That can still change. Opportunity now here for the men in grey. Defensa Justicia come forward. Gets to the byline, crosses it in, straight to Katimani, who's been solid in this game today, JJ, with whatever little he's had to do.
Yeah, that is true. He's been solid. It's important, being a goalkeeper, to dictate the defense often and also stay alert. And he's done that, because keepers do wander off many a times when they're just standing there by themselves, not being tested as much. But not Katimani. He may not be in his prime, but he is experienced.
Well, not in his prime, but plenty of experience on those gloves. Ball now for FC Goa. 2 minutes to go to reach the final of the Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy, 2nd edition. Ball for Goa. This is number 14. This is Ayush. Foul for Defensa y Justicia. Another chance to pump the ball into the box, get bodies forward. It will be taken by Sosa. Sosa has Bokiler next to him. Sosa will take this free kick for Defensa y Justicia. Sosa with an in-swinger. Sosa with the ball in. Cleared away by FC Goa, and that ball goes out of play for a goal kick for the men in wine jerseys. Is that it, JJ? Is that it? What do you think?
Yeah, that was perhaps that last-ditch effort from them to equalize. And I don't see any more chances coming through, because FC Goa have the ability to contain the ball and take control of the game from this moment. Of course, they'll start from the other side in form of that goal kick, and I just see them slowly holding on to the possession. Maybe a few seconds might be added on because of this small stoppage, but the 5 minutes added on has come to an end, and so has Defensa Justicia's campaign here in India. A good one, reflecting it. When we reflect back, Joel, it's been a very good one.
Yeah, well, they have been solid throughout the tournament. They haven't really conceded many goals. They've played decently enough. They've been very aggressive. They've been very astute with their tactical showings during the games, and the pressing that they've done, how they recover the ball. They have a bright future. They really do have a bright future. Chance here though for FC Goa. It's going to be a foul, says the referee. Ball for Defensa Justicia. One last hurrah. The goalkeeper coming forward to take this free kick. One last roll of the dice for the Argentinians. Drama to ensure, that's for sure. Drama to follow. Or will it be just ice cold blood in Goa's veins? Ball into the box. Cleared away by FC Goa again. Ooh, that's a dangerous challenge there. Foul there by number 5, Bormida, sorry. Again, this game has been relatively clean today. It does have the potential to boil over though, JJ.
Yeah, it does. And the yellow card being issued at the very brink of it says it all. And yeah, he will get onto the score sheet, at least not in form of a goal, but that yellow card booking.
So, FC Goa manage a win against Defensa Justicia, and they will play in the final of the Bhausaheb Bandodkar Memorial Trophy. They beat the Argentinian side by 1-0. Armando Sadiku with the goal in this match today. It's been a pleasure being here with you today, JJ. What do you make of the game before we depart?
Oh, it's a pleasure. Likewise. Well, the game was spectacular, I would say, given the fact that FC Goa put out that spectacular performance. I think I like the way they dictated the game entirely. and this is what we can look forward to in the final, irrespective of the opposition, be it a team they've already played, the Brisbane side, or even Sergio Lobera, who knows how the Goan side functions if Odisha make it. So I'm thoroughly excited. This match was FC Goa just playing their game all throughout, not allowing the opposition to have their way. But we can't take anything away from them because they've come from Argentina, put out a good performance here in the finals as well.
Well, pleasure having you in the com box with with myself, JJ. It's been an absolute blast. We now focus on the 7 o'clock game that starts, well, at 7 o'clock in an hour's time here in India between Odisha and Brisbane Roar. Till then, stay safe, take care, and God bless you.